From the window to the wall, we getting lit up in it, big bouncing. We does it big up in it, big bouncing.
What's up? We've got a couple things we gotta get done to the truck really quick before we can go and trade it. So we've got to put a couple mufflers on it, and all we're gonna do is just use some clamps. We're gonna cut it, clamp it, call it good. Alright, it's the next day and we're just finishing up with that stinking exhaust. I got all the stuff ordered in. It's supposed to be 3-inch piping, so whenever I measured it to get the right muffler and everything and like the sleeves for it, the sleeve clamps, I measured it out and it was like 2 3/4 or something like that. So I ordered 2 3/4 of everything, and then I get to working on it and it's actually 2.5. So the guy sold me on 3-inch piping. It's 2.5. So I was running around all last night because I already made the cuts and everything for the first one. So I went to work today with just the one muffler on one pipe. But we got them both put up here and it's a sloppy job, but we're getting rid of it. So I'll show you really quick. So like that one there, it's just mangled together with clamps and stuff. And we had to put they were too close together. So we had to put the other one back here. And it went together a lot easier since we had all the parts with us, and it was just pretty tight cutting. But now we're just gonna start it up and let's hear it. What's up? So it's 7 in the morning. I've got everything unloaded out of the white truck. So we're gonna do the final cold start on the white truck, and then we're gonna be going and getting something different today. That's gonna be way more convenient for detailing. So we'll do one last startup on this thing and head that way. It's the next day. We ended up saying goodbye to the white truck, and we're mainly just using it for work. And my main goal for this whole, my detailing is to be fully mobile. We were still hooking into people's water and electric. So we ended up trading the truck and a couple details for this guy, and we traded for a 2014 Ford van, and I'll show you around. We've already got the flooring and everything ripped out and put new wood down so we can mount all of our stuff to it. We got a whole bunch of new stuff. We got a generator, a water tank, I'm pretty sure we've got everything we're going to need to get going tomorrow. So tomorrow's Monday. I guess it'd be today for you guys. But it's already tinted. He's got the windshield tinted, all the windows are tinted. We're gonna end up getting some, on the sides of it, we're gonna get some decals for our business on the sides of it and everything. But there's some little flaws here and there that we're just gonna kinda, we're not gonna, it's a work van, so we're not gonna ball out in this thing. So, I'll show you everything that we're gonna do to it and what he's done to it, and probably just start building on it. And I'll just kind of update you here and there whenever we get stuff done to it. But here's the inside of it. This was just bare plywood. He put that in. He took the headache rack out because he couldn't get his seat far enough back. So unfortunately, we don't have the metal rack with the door on it like it had at first, but we put this flooring in. It had some carpet, and the guy, he done windows, so there was a bunch of broken glass in here. So we pulled everything out, and there was a couple not rust, but he had something mounted and ran underneath the floor pan. So we put a Bondo patch and bondoed it, and then just took this same undercoating and painted it. And there was a couple spots that we had to do that too, a few holes where they mounted stuff through the floor. But we ended up painting this plywood black, right now we've got a piece that we're gonna cut over this wheel well and mount on these boards so it's flat and we have a nice wall, and we're gonna end up doing the same thing on this wall, is putting a wall up on the sides. But everything opens up fully like this side does. We might end up taking our saw and cutting this little strip off here that's hanging over that foot side right there. But it's pretty clean van. He had a ladder rack on the side and we just put some Christmas tree plugs in and threw some silicone on it. But let's see, so it's pretty clean. This is pretty wore out, but I mean, we might end up painting these little running boards or just taking them off. I'm not sure yet, but here's the inside of it. It's just got vinyl in the flooring. It needs a good detail, but this is what it was looking like on the back side before we painted it last night. But it's got 153,000 miles on it, and I've seen videos people are running these till they have 300,000, 400,000, and they're still going. So not too worried about it. It runs good. It runs like a car almost, but we'll see how it runs whenever we get everything put in it and filled up and everything too. Alright, a couple of the new things we got reels for everything. So we've got we're going to try to hook our pressure washer reel up to this one. It's meant for an air compressor. And then we've got our transfer pump for our water tank and a 40 or 50 foot extension cord reel with the cord already in it. And then we're going to move this air compressor into the van if we have room. And then this is the generator we went with. It's the 44,550 inverter generator. But it should get everything done that we need. We might end up using this. We might run some wires off of it and make like a little 4-way outlet for smaller things that we use. And then it's got 4 little outlets here, and it's even got 2 little USB ports here. And then you got these little plugs, but we'll never probably use those unless we absolutely have to. But we don't have oil or gas or anything in this yet, so we're gonna get that later after we get everything else mounted in. And then we'll get the oil from factory drained out of this, and top it off with oil and gas and see how it runs. And this is the water tank we got. So it's just an IBC tote, and we took the bottom off of it, and we're just gonna mount this tray with a piece of wood on the back to make it level. And with those IBC totes, that one's a 275 gallon, and not a whole lot of people that detail out of vans use that much water, and I doubt I ever fill it up that much. So I might just go about halfway on it, filling it up, and I've got that transfer pump, so hopefully it'll just pull the water out instead of just gravity feeding it and, ruining our pressure washer. But with those IBC totes, I got it because the guy was selling a bunch of them. He was selling them for $70, and all the just the regular 100-gallon, 65-100-gallon, 80-gallon water tanks that I've seen online, brand new, they're selling from anywhere from like $250 to $350, and I was like, I didn't really want to spend the money on that to just have a plastic tank. Not right now, not after we just bought all this other stuff. So maybe eventually we'll redo the inside of it and put a smaller tank in there for more room, but for now that's going to get the job done, and that's all I really care about. So we'll get that put in there and mounted, and what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of put some of this 2x1 board around the edge of it. We'll probably use a 2x4 for that, and we'll just kind of block it in an area and then put D-rings on it and throw some straps over each side just to make sure that sucker doesn't move. And then we're going to do the same thing for the generator. We're going to kind of just mount it to the floor, and we might throw a D-ring on each side of it to strap it down as well. But I don't think it'll go anywhere if we just throw 3 or 4 different bolts through the bottom of it, because it's got mounting points for it as well to be stationary. And then, so the plan on this is we're going to put a wall up maybe about halfway and then have all our stuff mounted, like our reels mounted on the back end of it. So we can just pull from the back, have all our stuff right there. We're gonna put bottle holders on all the doors, possibly even on the walls that we put up. And then on the other side, so that toad's gonna give us about, I don't know, 10 inches or so of clearance from the ceiling. And we're just gonna make it like a shelf. We're just gonna block it in, and we'll probably take a hole saw where we fill up the tank, and we'll just kind of cut a hole open just so we can fill it up when needed. And then we'll have the top there area for storage. And on that side double door, what we're gonna do is that's where we're gonna have like all of our towels, brushes, and everything. We're just gonna kind of put it all in there on the side. And then if there's room, we're gonna put our air compressor towards the front and run its little lead hose for the reel, run it up the wall, and then mount the hose reel. We're just gonna try to get all of our big crap put towards the front, and then all the stuff that we're gonna use constantly towards the back, like bottles, vacuum, all of our hoses and all of our reels are gonna be towards the back, and anything like our DA, our like buffing, like our polishing compound, we're gonna have it towards the front, along with all of our towels. But I'm gonna get started getting these walls put up, and then my wife and kids are gonna come out and start painting the rest of it, and then we're gonna start mounting the bigger stuff in. All right, we've got the walls up pretty much. I just painted them and stuff, and I'm gonna go around the edges and get them painted up more, and any wood showing up there, and then probably these right here, maybe not. I'll probably just hit those with undercoating and call it good. I'm going to take the undercarriage coating and put it on that wheel spot too, and then probably up there where that white's showing. But I plan to put a strip of board right there anyways, so probably won't even paint that. But now we're going to get the water tank mounted. I'm thinking about up there. I'm going to see just how much room I'm going to have on each side if I put it right here in the middle. Alright, we are making progress. It is looking good. It is humid as beep out here. I mean, it is so freaking hot. I've been sweating all day. But we're getting close to done here. We've got to build a shelf, and I'm not sure if I'm going to put something on top of the water tank. I've got it mounted about the best place I can do it. I don't want to put it all the way towards the back, because if I accidentally put too much water in that thing, it's gonna tilt so bad. But I might end up putting like a shell, like just some wood on the top, and cutting out like the fill hole, the fill cap. But we got our divider put up and started painting it, but I've got to build a shelf on the opposite side, because I left a little bit of the top open so I can have storage just right there on the back end, like for towels or drying towels and such, just on the top edge there. So I'm going to try to build a shelf there, but I'm going to show you what we're looking like now. So here's the shelf. I mean, I'm going to end up having to put the generator here for now on this side, and then I'm going to have the vacuum, because I don't have a big enough vacuum for like a 30 or 50 foot hose yet. So we're going to go vacuum here, pressure washer here. We're going to run our lines for our extension cord up through here, or our air compressor hose up through here, and then we're going to mount our pressure washer hose here, and then run the water line under here to the pressure washer, which will be right here. And then we'll run a cord off of the generator underneath that same hole for the water pump and the air compressor, so they can both have power as well. But so the water tank took up a bunch of room. I mean, we've got it right here on the back, but there's enough room where we're going to put some drawers, like a filing cabinet or something here for all our towels. And then there's enough room to go back through here, which this is where we will put our, we're going to build the shelf out, I don't know, halfway over these little wheel wells, and then put a top on it so we can put stuff up there as well. And then we'll just leave the back end over here open so we can get to our water pump, which will be mounted right over there in the corner. And then run our water line under there, and then we'll have the air compressor. We might just sit it right here, and then we can have like all of our polishers and stuff sat right here. But yeah, it's coming together good and quick. So I'm gonna get to building this shelf and probably start mounting stuff in here before I show you anything else. All right, we're basically done. We've got everything mounted up here. We've still got to run the hoses and everything, but we've kind of got everything mounted down and all that. We still have to finish building the shelf up here. We've got all our supports and everything, so we're waiting on, we're gonna get a couple brackets to mount this board to the main one, and then we'll lay a piece of wood on the top there. You can kind of see we've got the hole right there for the pressure washer hose to run out of. I'm gonna move that. I was just lining everything up, so I'm gonna move that out and get this painted and the shelf finished up, and then we've got to mount our transfer pump to the water tank, and we're basically done. We're gonna go. We're heading to buy some shelving for right here for towels and everything, and what I might do for like right here, I might just put a little block, like a couple sticks of wood to hold like chemicals and such, put them in there. Or I might actually just run another board across here, across this, just a little bit higher, and then I can just put all my gallon chemicals right there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call that about it for this one. I have to take it tomorrow, so I was just gonna stand you up and do a time lapse, but half the time you weren't gonna be able to see me anyways, so see what I was doing or anything. So, and then the next one I upload, or a short or something, I'll add kind of like a more in-depth of everything that we did. So we've got to go get a few things, and we're gonna call it good for now, and then tomorrow I'll get to test it out and see how it goes. Sounds